I mean, maybe Shakespeare and the Nun? Those logs of wood are in a f***ing row. And maybe the Z in the hat, Zet, for it. The puzzle is just in a really bad German accent. Hello and welcome back to Maze, Solve the World's Most Challenging Puzzle by Christopher Manson from 1985. It has been quite a journey so far. We have solved the first puzzle of the maze, getting from room 1 to room 45 and back to room 1 again in only 16 steps. However, there are still two parts remaining. The puzzle at the center of the maze and the solution to the puzzle at the center of the maze, the riddle at the center of the maze. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones because it's all happening in one room. So I'm going to break it up into 4 different phases. Now, before I get into what those 4 phases are, let's begin with the official, original $10,000 prize contest rules. And the rules are helpfully published right in the book. There are 45 rooms in the maze, and each room is numbered. As outlined in the directions, by selecting the correct door in each room, it's possible to go from room number 1 to room number 45 and back to room number 1 in only 16 steps. Hidden in room number 45 is a riddle. The answer to that riddle is concealed somewhere along the shortest path through the maze. To enter the contest, answer the following 3 questions. 1. Which 16 rooms comprise the shortest path? We've already done this. 2. What is the riddle found in room number 45 stated exactly as indicated by the clues in the book? And 3. What is the answer to the riddle stated exactly as indicated by the clues in the book? So, what that means is that in room 45, there are clues to a very specific, precisely worded riddle. Meaning there is one right answer, and even if you have it maybe thematically correct, if it is not that one specific correct answer, it's not the right solution. Now, we already know that this puzzle was not successfully completed in the time frame. Nobody won the $10,000 cash prize. Which means if we jump down a little further, there's interesting information here. If no completely correct solution has been received by September 1st, 1986, clues will be made available and the contest will be extended. If no completely correct solution has been received by March 1st, 1987, a second additional clue or clues will be made available and the contest is extended further. That means that 2 additional sets of clues were released as part of the official contest. So, the 4 phases that I'm going to break this video down into is first, going to go into room 45 and see what I can find with no help. Phase 2, I'm going to look at the first clue that was given out and see what more I can find. In phase 3, we're going to look at the second clue that was released and see what more we can find from that. And finally, we're going to then look at the officially published, sanctioned, acknowledged correct answer. See how close we got first. And based on some of the rooms that we've visited, then work backwards to see if we can figure out how we were supposed to have found the correct answer. Now, before we dive in, I just want to ask you real quick, help us hit our 1,000 subscriber goal by the end of the month. So if you've been enjoying this series, do us a solid and just hit the little subscribe button quick. Now, back to the puzzle. Okay. The room at the center of the maze. My guests thought that whoever lived here was a careless person to leave so many things around. They were wrong. There was really only one thing for them to find, the riddle of the maze. They demanded that I show it to them. Do you think it is written on the wall for all to see? It is hidden here somewhere, perhaps throughout the room. As far as you are concerned, what the maze teaches can be learned in every room. They looked and looked. Every group is the same. Now, I said, after the last look around, we must find our way back out. Let's begin by just taking stock of what we have here. Okay, so in the back we have a picture of a nun. We have a picture of a tool. It looks to me like an awl or a punch or something of that nature. We have a picture of an eye. We have a framed question mark. We have a picture of a hat. We have a chair. We have the letter W. We have the letter Z on a board on the wall. We have a sign kind of sticking out into room 28. ELV could be maybe an N or an H or even just an I. Then we have a table in the middle. There's a horseshoe wrapped around one leg. There is a regular shoe, a human shoe, next to it. There are 4 logs on a board, casting a shadow over a sun on this scroll. And then there is an I am and a drawing of a person clutching a spear. It could be an arrow, I suppose, but I'm not seeing any fletching down here, which makes me think that this is meant to be a spear instead. So, we've already used the spear as an indicator for going to room 23 as the way to get out. As I was reading I am, and there's a spear here, I'm noticing also these lines drawn around it. It's giving like vibrating or shaking vibes. So my brain's going to I am Shakespeare. So I don't know if this clue has to do with Shakespeare in some way. Similarly, you have like ELV. This could be like Elvis, ELVIS. That's about the only thing I can think of that starts ELV. The letter W here, it's right by a question mark, and in English, most of the question words begin with W. So it might be a way of saying this isn't the riddle isn't how, but maybe who or where. That's an oddly specific tool to have here, because it's a punch awl. It's like an awl. It's a tool used to make holes in things or to like scratch. Literally just a pointed bit of metal, really, with a handle. So you have an awl. Oh, Jesus. Okay, well, you have an awl and you have a nun. Awl or nun. That seems very on brand for this book. Let's see, you have a W and you have an I here and a question mark. Maybe why? Why? Possibly here. Why? We have all or none. I don't know what to make of the Z or the chair or the hat. Let's see, we have a U or a horseshoe. There's lots of letters here. So we have a shoe and a horseshoe, a human shoe and a horseshoe. A pair of shoes, but they're a disparate pair. Horse. Shoe. Okay, so like neither horse nor shoe has a U in it. So it's not like, oh, if you take horse and you subtract out the U that's on the floor, you end up with letters that'll rearrange into something. And shoe, like, I mean, unless we're talking like German, like a German name, Schuh. And maybe the Z in the hat, Zet, for if the puzzle is just in a really bad German accent. That doesn't really seem on brand, though. Actually, speaking of rearranging letters, okay, we have ELVI. We could do evil, EVIL. The sun is evil, after all. The sun is evil! Um, Why all evil? Why none evil? Why Shakespeare? Why is Shakespeare evil? I don't know what the deal is with these logs on a board. Hat chair. Hat chair Z Hatcher. Okay, so let's see if we have Shakespeare Hatcher. Elvis Hatcher? No. Oh, we could also Evil Hatcher, or we could do Vile VILE from this sign over here. VILE. Vile Hatcher. Shakespeare. I am Shakespeare. I don't like this puzzle. I have no idea if I'm like even on the right track here. I don't know. I like Hatcher. Hatcher. I don't know what to do about the Z, the horseshoe, or the shoe. Shoe U. Like, it can't be a coincidence that it looks like the letter U. I guess it's a horseshoe, but it looks like the letter U. So like, I don't know if it the horseshoeiness of it, or horse. Like maybe, okay, you have horseshoe minus shoe. Like take the shoe out of horseshoe and you have horse. Horace, maybe? Horace Hatcher? Is that somebody? I have to keep in mind that this book would have been made at a time when there was not the internet. So you couldn't just like Google up a bunch of random names. If I could find a T somewhere turned to Thatcher, that could be something. Because then you've got, Shakespeare and Thatcher going very English. Something with the ZU? Zoo? I mean, again, it's that's going more German. That would be shoes. Huh. I wonder if there's anything we can do to sort of rearrange, like the letters, like okay, ZUSHOE. Because my boy here loves anagrams, as we saw from even just the very first room. Now, the internet may not have been around when this book was written. However, I am a tool-using primate, and you know what? We do have a tool to help us try and solve the anagram. All right, let's see. Okay, so we have SHOE, U, and Z. Show us what we've got. Okay, well, right off the bat, nothing that uses all 6 letters, but we can get house if we drop the Z. Okay, so if we just take the U and the shoe, we get house. Okay, let's file that away for the moment. So we've got Y, Hatcher, house. Still haven't used this Z yet. Zeta, Z. I am Shakespeare. Evil or vile Elvis. All or none. Can we make a riddle out of that? Why? Okay. Well, okay. So obviously the riddle, there's a question mark here. I'm guessing it's going to ask a question. We found why. We found a question word. But where's the verb here? Where's the verb? We have, all right, so the words we found so far, why, we have an adverb, why. Hatcher, noun. House, noun. Shakespeare, noun. I mean, unless am could be, like, why am I? Okay, that maybe. Sun, wood, all, none, or all. Evil, vile, Let's break out the anagram itself. Let's see if there's what else we've got in that evil or vile. Evil, live, veil, vile, vlei. Vlei, I'm not sure what that is. Vlei, oh, from South Africa. Shallow wetlands or minor lake. Veil or live or live. Live, live. Live, verb. Am, verb. All right, what sort of sentences can we put together with this? Why am I all... Why am I Shakespeare? Why... Maybe IZ could be... Maybe IZ could be is? Is? It's a bit of a stretch, because... I don't know, the lettering seems to be usually pretty precise. But maybe we could come up with like, why is Shakespeare vile? Why is Shakespeare vile? That doesn't use Hatcher or all or none. Why am I evil? I mean, I kind of like that one because I definitely think that it could be read a couple of different ways. It could be read either as like, why am I the guide evil, or why am I the guest participant here evil? Getting very existential. But again, it doesn't use very many of the clues. I mean, unless they're all just clues meant to, like, because of the red herring stuff, like maybe he's just, flooding us with more clues than there are purposes in this room. So I think at this stage, I think for the, with no clues, nothing else, I think the first thing I would ask is, like, why am I evil? Because that actually, like, it's a very tidy little sentence. And I could see the answer for that taking 16 rooms worth of clues to answer. Okay, so I guess for phase one, I'm going to clock my answer as, why am I evil? I don't know, what do you think? Okay, now, let's open up the first clue. And the following is a transcript of the first letter of official hints provided by the publisher after the contest was scheduled to end, but no one had yet claimed the prize. Dear Maze contestant, we would like to inform you that the Maze contest has been extended to March 1st, 1987. Since no correct answers to all 3 questions were submitted, you may still enter. To help you out, a clues, has been made available below. 3 things should be thrown out. 3 things come in pairs. You'll find 2 people in the room. They must sit in one chair. 3 things should be thrown out. 3 things come in pairs. You'll find 2 people in the room. They must sit in one chair. Interesting. Assuming that my original read of the clues is correct, and we have William Shakespeare, and we have Hatcher, they must sit in one chair, though. I'm going to come back to that. 3 things should be thrown out. Okay, well, so the thing with my first guess for the puzzle answer is that it does away with some pretty things that seem significant. You have the all or none. You have Hatcher here. You have Shakespeare. You have this horseshoe, meaning house, like finding an anagram in the letters there. It doesn't do anything with the sun or the logs, board. So if only 3 things should be thrown out, why am I evil leaves too many things? Because it's throwing out Shakespeare, it's throwing out the wood, it's throwing out the sun, it's throwing out the horseshoe house thing, it's throwing out the Z, it's throwing out the hat and the chair, the all and the none. I don't think why am I evil is correct. I like it, but based on this clue, I don't think it's going to be right. 3 things that come in pairs. Okay, so there's a pair of shoes. There's like the all or none could be like a pair of pictures because they're very similar. They both have a white background. They're both like symmetrically placed. I'm not seeing a third pair here though. Hat, chair. So this is interesting. Okay. Well, all right. So we had Y, the W from the W, and the I. If we do the W and the hat, what, W-H-A-T. A little bit more of a stretch to do the W plus the chair to be where. Then you have that ch left over, which isn't a problem with either Y or what. Okay, if the hat and chair is not, like if the hat goes with the W, what am I? Though that uses even less things. If we're not using the I for that, what else we use the I for? The I and the chair, Iker, maybe? Iker? That'd be I-C-H-O-R. Ew, it's a stretch, but no. You got any other anagrams that might come up? Nothing that uses all 8 letters. Oh, that actually makes, if we're looking at it that way, the what is actually a stronger case, because that literally uses W-H-A-T, that literally uses all the letters. What live? What live? What lives? Using that Z. What live? What live? What live? What could live? Yeah, see, what live doesn't work, because you need something else in there. You know, what could live? What would live? What would? Okay, well, there's wood in the middle of the table. What would live? What would live? What all would live? What all would live? What all would live? House. What all would live in Sun House? No, that doesn't work. What all would live? What all would live house? It still leaves the I and the chair and the Z, the nun, the sun, and I am Shakespeare. Discard 3 things. So if we discard I am Shakespeare, that's 1. If we discard the chair, that's 2. We have the I, the Z, the nun, the sun. So 3 things should be thrown out. That's still throwing too many things out. What all would live? I feel like it's on the tip of my brain. Like I feel like there's something I'm missing here. You find 2 people in the room. They must sit in one chair. What is that even supposed to mean? I mean, if we're using the hat for what? I mean, maybe Shakespeare and the nun? But how could they sit in one chair? I mean, I guess they're both flat. They're like, you know, they're not real people in the room. So you could, like, set them both in the chair. Maybe that's a way of indicating, okay, so I am Shakespeare, the nun, and the chair are the 3 things that should be thrown out. So if those are the 3 things to throw out, then we have, okay, we have what would all live house. What would all live house? What all would live house? Eyeball Z. I mean, I-Z is, again, I don't like that, is. What all would live is house. All what is would live house. I don't have a good one from this. I think we got to go for the next clue. Okay. So here's the second letter of official hints, provided by the publisher after no one claimed the prize. Each of the additional clues below applies to one word of the riddle to be found in room 45 of Maze. So there are 6 clues here. So the riddle it has to be 6 words long. Each clue is 1 word of the maze. So we're looking for a 6-word riddle. Okay, so 1, I'll tip my hat if the 2 of you can solve this. You can get into these 2 shoes only if you don't go anywhere. You will find 2 names on the table, and they go together like donut and hole. You must choose between 2 pictures. There are no 2 ways you can read this sign. You can see that another 2 pictures demonstrate their own kind of symmetry. All right, I'll tip my hat if the two of you can solve this. So the first word involves the hat. I'm feeling pretty good about what, honestly, because I feel like we're going to need some sort of question word or something. Like, we have a question mark here, so we're going to need a question word, and I think what fits better than why. So if the hat is the first word, I feel like what is going to be the first word? You can get into these two shoes only if you don't go anywhere. Okay, well, the two shoes, so we had shoe and you, and we'd already figured out that could anagram to house, stay at home, not go anywhere. That actually kind of fits. I'm actually feeling a little clever at the moment. I'm sure that won't last. What house? Oh. I didn't think to do it this way. Okay, so what house? You'll find two names on the table, and they go together like donut and hole. Shakespeare. I am Shakespeare. Log. Well, okay, so there's a sun there. Sun. Actually, sun is a bit more often like a more often like the ending of a name. Stevenson, Williamson. I mean, yeah, William Shakespeare. Williamson, Logson, Woodson. I feel like there's something there. I'm feeling good about Shakespeare. I feel like there's something else there, and I just can't put my finger on it. Okay, so we have what house blank. And then you must choose between two pictures. I mean, okay, this actually kind of fits the natural fit, like all or none, choosing between those two. So what house blank none, or what house blank all? I think that can work. There are no two ways you can read this sign. Word number 5. So what house blank all, what house blank none. And two ways you can read this sign. I mean, I think there's only two things that could be considered signs here. You have obviously the LV sign, the ELVI, or the Z sign, which we still haven't figured out what to do with. There are no two ways that you can read this sign. Okay. So the Z sign, if you were to turn it sideways, that's an N. Is there anything new we can do with an N? However, I actually think this is not referring to that sign. There are no two ways you can read this sign. And because there are two ways that you could read that sign, Z or N, is there any third way? No. No matter how you turn it, it's either a Z or an N. It's got to be referring to the sign that's sticking out of door 28, because that one had 4 permutations. Evil, veil, vile, and live. Okay, so the fourth word is going to be one of those 4 words. So the fifth word is going to be one of those 4 words. All right, so what house blank all or none? What house blank none live evil? What house blank none evil? What house blank all evil? What house blank none veil? None veil. Nun's veil. I wonder if that could be something. Like they're, if you're to consider the nun's habit to be like a veil or something. What house blank none vile? Blank all vile. Okay, we've got 4 possible words for the 5th word. We've got 2 possible words for the 4th word. We have no clue whatsoever on the 3rd word. 6th word. You can see that another 2 pictures demonstrate their own kind of symmetry. Dividing the room in half and looking at the symmetries, what do we have? Okay, we have the all or the none, which is one kind of symmetry. So I'm guessing this is saying like another two pictures that have similar symmetry. The hat and the question mark, and without the W, like just the pictures by themselves, I don't know if that works. Or you have the I facing the Z, or the I facing the N. Ein, E-Y-E-N, N-E-E-Y, Y-E-E-N, Yin, N-A. I mean, Ein, eyes, Ein. That's actually very Shakespearean. So if we're pulling from Shakespeare, Ein, evil eyes, maybe. Or veil eyes, vile eyes. What house something? What house blank none vile ein? What house none evil ein? What house none evil, no, none live ein, live ein. No, it doesn't work. What house something none evil, live, vile, veil. None veil ein. No, what house something none veil ein. Okay, we're going to have to figure out that. We're going to have to figure out number 3. You'll find 2 names on the table, and they go together like donut and hole. And from the first clue, you'll find 2 people in the room. They must sit in one chair. So we're going to find 2 names. 2 names on the table. They must sit in the same chair, and they go together like donut and hole. And one of them is so clearly Shakespeare. I was feeling really good about myself, and now I'm really not. Woodson, Boardson, Logson, Treeson, Trunkson, Lumberson. So it's like, I mean, what, like Woodson Shakespeare? But how does that work, though? Like, Woodson Shakespeare, I feel so close. But I don't see it. And I don't know how long to bang my head against this. I feel like we've got all the parts and pieces here. I'm missing some fundamental. There's some fundamental thing that I'm just not seeing. I think this might just be a blind spot in me. So let's find out what the true answer is, and then see if we can figure out how we were supposed to have found it. So to ensure that no part of the rest of the solution or puzzle gets spoiled, the Rook has provided me with this answer. What house will all live in? I was so f***ing close. Oh my god. I was so close. Like, this actually hurt. Because this one hurts. Because I don't know. Like, reading that answer, I don't know where will and in came from. It's not like, oh, I look at it now, it's like, oh, well, obviously, I just wasn't looking at this the right way. Like, I'm looking at the answer here, and it's not immediately intuitive. But I was so close. Okay, I just got it. I just got in, at least. It's not ein or eyes. I-E-Y-E could also be I, letter I. I-N, in. So you can see in another 2 pictures demonstrate their own kind of symmetry. I mean, we were right. It's the I and the Z. I didn't put them together the right way. But like all the other parts, what? You know, the W in the hat, what? And house, I was right with the shoes and the anagram of the shoe and the U. I was right with all or nothing, all or none. It was all, but I was on the right track with that. And live, it was one, like, oh, I was so close. I bet you, like, if I had just gone like guessing, checking with like what are sentences that makes sense here, I probably could have stumbled across the right answer. That's how close we were. Will is the one that's getting me, though. Like, okay, William Shakespeare. All right, I can see that here. Will. So I am Shakespeare. Will I am Shakespeare. William. I may be enraged, but I at least understand that part. Like looking back over the previous clues, okay, you'll find two people in the room. They must sit in one chair. And you will find two names on the table, and they go together like donut and hole. Okay, so William Shakespeare. What the are the logs and the sun and the shadow and the board? What do they have to do with anything? Wait. Oh, okay. Hold on. There's something here. Oh, it's on the tip of my brain. Okay, William. So Will is kind of like the silent, from the earlier clues, it's the silent part. It's the part that's not written out, that's significant. William Shakespeare. Wilson. That's a name. Wilson is a name. What the is up with these logs? That's the thing I can't figure out. What the is up with the logs? The logs are the bane of my existence right now. Like, I am losing my mind here trying to figure out what the the logs have to do with any of this. Like... like a cazzo. It's going to be, it is going to be something so painfully stupid, so painfully banal, that, it's going to push me over the edge. Whenever I find out what it is going to enrage me. I can tell that by myself already. I have been staring at these logs on a board for months now. Literal months since I first started this series, and we recorded the first few episodes and we got to the middle. I've been puzzling on it the entire time. Logs on a board. Okay, let's see. Famous Wilsons. No. Okay, so I'm a historian, right? The games that I play here, this is a fun pastime for me, but one of my core trainings is in history. So in thinking of Wilsons, first one that really comes to mind is good old Woodrow Wilson. Y'all. Okay. After all of the time that I've put into trying to figure out who the other name is, those logs of wood are in a row. Are you kidding me? The clue for that? Wood row? Woodrow Wilson? Okay. Okay, I have collected myself. Woodrow Wilson. Wood in a row with the missing will and the son. Just like the missing will with the Shakespeare. Two people, two names. Woodrow Wilson, William Shakespeare. I'm gonna be honest here. You find two people in the room, they must sit in one chair. Like this clue is throwing me. I mean, unless it's meaning like you're gonna find two names here, but they're combined only gonna represent like one clue, you know, or in the second official clue, you'll find two names on the table. They go together like donut and hole, which is they don't really. I mean, like they don't exactly go together. Woodrow Wilson and William Shakespeare. I mean, the only common part of that is will, but I don't understand the donut and hole reference because, like, I mean, unless it's unless it's that first bit. So you can take dough off of nut and put it on hole. You can take the will off of William and put it on son. See, William and Wilson, I guess that could justify those clues. Whew, that I was not expecting to get emotional recording this. I didn't quite realize how much I'd been chewing on this puzzle. I feel a little bit empty now that that's over. I've been puzzling on this for so long. I mean, okay, look, there's still more the official, like the official riddle. So the riddle at the center of the maze is, what house will all live in? Honestly, you know, okay, the grammar, I think he could have done a little better. You know, I still like the why am I evil as a little bit cleaner, you know, grammar wise. But what house will all live in? Grammatically functional. And so the answer to that is going to be scattered along the 16 rooms of the shortest path. So I was originally thinking that, you know, there'd be like this, we'd do this in one episode and then the response, like the answer to the riddle in one more episode. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't know if we're going to solve the next one in just one episode. Maybe what we'll do is we'll split it up and we'll kind of go through the rooms and collect clues and then see what we can do to sort of put the clues together. But yeah, I feel like, I'm sure the way this is edited, it's not going to make any sense why I feel just absolutely emotionally drained and gutted at this point. It depends on how much of my reaction to Woodrow Wilson survives the editing. But that's Maze. Solve the world's most challenging puzzle. That is the second of the 3 official challenges of this book. So we've solved the 16-room shortest path, and we have now found the riddle at the center of the maze with help. Well, join us next time as we start to work through solving the answer, you know, finding the answer to that riddle, because the thing is, we can come up with whatever we want to, but the official thing that we need to find is, what is the answer to the riddle stated exactly as indicated by the clues in the book? And as we learned from the official clues for the contest, there are no clues. There are no clues to the answer of the riddle. The only clues that were ever provided during the contest were for the riddle at the center of the maze. So we're pretty much on our own at this point. And I'm excited to see what we can come up with. So join us next time. If you like what you're seeing, do us a solid, hit that subscribe button, at least to get us over to that 1,000 mark. And then you have our deepest thanks. So until next time, ciao.
I wanted to show you the incredible gaming notebooks that made this video possible. We are, of course, the Rook and the Raven, and we've been designing and selling unique notebooks and accessories for nearly a decade at this point. We make high-quality notebooks that are specially designed for both players and game masters for a variety of different tabletop role-playing game systems, including Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Daggerheart, Call of Cthulhu, and more. Alcuni dei nostri libri sono disponibili anche in italiano, mit deutschen Ausgaben, Edition en langue française, y por supuesto edizione en español, all in the works. We also have notebooks that can be used both inside and outside of games, such as our character prologue and epilogue journal, which each feature hundreds of prompts and questions to help you dig deep into a character. Not only are they great for tabletop gamers, but they are a fantastic resource for authors and artists as well. Check out our amazing lineup in our YouTube store, or on our website at therookandtheraven.com.